have this small lamp and it's something I really like, but it's very plain. I'd like to customize it with a kind of a patchwork freestyle embroidery finish. So I have a lot of scraps out because I want to show you something about this. I want to do a little kind of landscape across this. And I have a couple of new bits of fabric because I wanted to use, this is Harris tweed, and I wanted to show you how heavy fabric can be used as well. So I'm going to use a little bit of heavy fabric as well. But when you turn the light on in your lamp, if you're going to do this, notice how heavy the fabric is and notice what color comes through. And some things won't work. Personally, I don't want to sit around at night doing things and reading and so forth with blue light shining. I prefer a warm light. I'm going to use a strip of it, probably around the bottom. I might use a strip in the middle for emphasis for my landscape. We'll see, but I'll be cautious how I use that. But there are favourite bits of fabric I have that I'll use liberally. So I'll be using some of that pink, and I have saved some bits of silk that I've dyed. I have a lovely nettle dyed one in a green, and I have all sorts of browns and everything. I can actually layer them as well. So I'm going to do a landscape that's like a sun rising or a sun setting over the landscape. I'm going to show you how I'm going to get all this onto the lampshade now. This is going to be like the sort of template for putting all the pieces on, and then this will get attached to the lampshade afterwards, probably be sewn at the bottom and the top. Okay, so I have all my fabrics chosen, and when you see them all together like this, you'll probably get a sense of the colour palette and whether it's going to really work for you. So this is the really fun bit because I have it all marked out to roughly, you don't have to be kind of too nitpicky about things, but I have it marked out to roughly the shape of the lampshade. Now I'm going to put my fabrics down, and you can layer fabrics, which is very handy when you're working with very thin fabric, because I can have some pink showing through from the back, but keep it looking less pink when it's in daylight, but it warms up some of these colors, you see. So experiment if you've got thin fabrics with layering things, hold it up to your light to see how it looks in the light. And get yourself some pins. They don't have to be these little tiny dressmaking pins. I got them because they're lovely and neat and fun. Get yourself some pins to make a temporary collage before you start basting things on, and then you can keep holding it up to the light, see if you like it, and if you don't, take it back down, cut things differently, pin things differently. So to start, I'm going to be pinning things in long strips. Okay, so I have the main lines across which I can embroider now. I still have all the pins in. I'm going to do the basting it down so I can take all those pins out and really enjoy working with the fabric then. But you can see there are a few things holding together. I mean, it doesn't look finished and it's not really coming together, but I kind of know what I'm doing. I have mountains, I have a horizon line, I've got a sun setting or rising there, I've got a path with nice interesting texture, I've got nice textury Harris tweed, quite thick fabrics down the bottom, which I've checked against the light to make sure I haven't gone too overboard on thick fabrics. I have some layered silk, which will be very interesting to embroider over. And I am going to be good to go, and I'll show you it against the light when I get the basting done. And I'll just remind you of how I did the basting as well, okay? I'm working away on my basting stitch, which allows me to take all these pins out and just makes the whole thing a lot nicer to work on. And it's a very enjoyable stitch. It's just a tiny back stitch. I used this in the last freestyle embroidery project we did as well. And a long stitch in the back. But it's such an easy stitch. Tiny back stitch, long stitch in the back, and you cover ground very quickly, and then you can take all these out, you see, and it becomes a really nice piece to have working in your hands, you see. So here it is so far, just kind of clipped on in natural lighting, pretty messy. And there it is with white light on. You can see the roadway in the middle, and with a more yellow light, which gives it a much more pinky look. The sun and the road are the main design, but I'm going to get some of these out now and pick out a nice dark red to pick up some of these reds, and I'm going to work branches and things across the road and work into those bushes as well, and work all the way up here with some freestyle embroidery. So there's going to be more coming out on the road, more branches, and it'll start making more sense then the more stitching that I do. I'm just going to use a loose kind of a long stitch on the trees, and maybe go in kind of a radial direction to suggest branches spreading out on them. And I'll do bigger shapes in the foreground than in the mid-distance. And a few different colours. So let's see how that goes. And I'll go all the way across there, across here, and across the divisions between fields with all my tree branches. So I'm working some other matching colours that match other sections into the front, and I have them, this one is only a 3-strand, so it's a different kind of a weight or texture to give even more sort of a kind of painterly feel to the thing. So I'm staying very loose doing it. It's not I don't know what kind of stitch I'm doing when I'm in the middle of it. I'm just not thinking about it. So it's a very slow stitch kind of attitude for this, you see, which makes it really enjoyable.